Now, oil prices are surging tonight as markets react in real time to President Trump's address to the nation. West Texas Intermediate crude has shot past $103 a barrel, with Brent crude also climbing sharply in after-hours trading. The spike comes after the president warned Iran of even tougher action in the coming weeks. During the speech, Trump threatened to strike Iran's electric generating plants hard and possibly simultaneously if no deal is reached soon. He reiterated plans to hit Iran extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks, vowing to bring key parts of the regime back to the Stone Age. Yash Ahuja is joining me with more details. Yash, over to you.
Yes, Vaishali very rightly pointed out, Brent crude and WTI crude have surged in real time after US President Donald Trump's address to the nation, where he said that if a deal is not made with Iran, if Iran does not make a deal with the US, he will strike key electricity generating power plants across Iran. Now, listening to that, Brent crude and WTI crude oil prices have surged by quite a bit. What we are looking here right now is the Brent last day financial, and let's take a look at this graph as we speak. Before his speech, at the previous close of Brent crude was at $99.37. As his speech ended, Brent crude surged to $105 per barrel. That is a gain of $6 per barrel. We haven't seen this big of a gain ever since the war started, except the biggest gain was on, remember, March 19th. Speaking of WTI crude, WTI has also crossed $103 mark as Trump had threatened to strike Iranian power plants during his address. WTI crude also closed at a similar $97.50 to $98 per barrel, but today morning in India and evening in the US, it has surged to over 102 barrels. And what we're looking right now is the Brent crude price, which is live. You can see the price go up in real time as the day progresses, as after the whole speech that Trump gave. Back to you.
Thanks, Yash, for joining me. And now I want to welcome all my guests joining me on the broadcast this morning. I have Ambassador Suresh K. Goyal, is a former diplomat, Group Captain UK Devnath defense expert. Malika Pandey is a foreign affairs expert, and I want to go across to Ambassador Goyal first. Ambassador Goyal, of course, we heard Trump, the 20-minute speech, and I'll get to that later. But what do you have to say about the latest development that we're sharing with our viewers when it comes to the oil market?
Look, I do not see any great relief in the oil market in the near future. It is not because Trump is deciding to attack the power infrastructure in Iran or anything else, but the two main factors in this case are really, first, the practical closure of the Straits of Hormuz, making it difficult for the oil to pass through to the importers from the Gulf. That is number one, oil or gas. And number two, the uncertainty, the West Asian uncertainty, where it is not very clear what President Trump's war objectives are. The one important factor is Israel. We know what Israel wants, whether the war is going to continue. Because of this uncertainty about the war environment, climate in West Asia, the oil prices are going to continue to go up. And therefore, my sense is that we are in for more choppy waters till actually the war stops, until there is a political agreement in place on the ground on the situation in West Asia. Shivani.
All right, Ambassador Goel, this is Vaishali joining you from the studio. And now I want to go across to Group Captain Devnath. Group Captain Devnath, we're seeing oil prices surge. What does this mean for global markets, especially benchmarks like West Texas Intermediate Crude and Brent Crude?
Definitely, world was looking forward to a speech wherein probably Donald Trump will cool down the situation. But after his rather monotonous dialogue, world realized that no, he is not talking about ending the conflict. In fact, he is promising that the conflict will continue as it is. So in case Donald Trump is speaking in these terms, just imagine, I am talking about the market forces. Market forces are imagining what Israel will do. Israel will now take a cue and probably become more vigorous and more aggressive against Iran. Now, what happens to Iran? Iran has already responded. After Donald Trump's this speech, Iran has already launched first salvo of missiles at Israel, which have already struck some targets in Israel. That shows that Iran has not taken kindly to this speech of Donald Trump. Iran is treating this speech of Donald Trump as a front, as a challenge to Iran's regional hegemony. Now, see, we have to understand psyche of world market. Market was expecting that Donald Trump will probably declare cooling off this war. Probably he'll declare some kind of a ceasefire from his side. Probably he'll declare that he has taken Netanyahu under his control, and Israel probably will cease the war activities soon. So yesterday market had cooled down. If you see, yesterday price of WTI and Brent crude basket had reduced below 100. It had gone down to $98, $97 per barrel. Similarly, yesterday there was a big surge in share markets all over the world because market were in a positive and buoyant mood the moment it was declared that Donald Trump is going to address his nation. But this morning, what Donald Trump said has gone 100% against what Donald Trump was promising, what market was expecting. Now, Asian markets have already started opening from Japan eastward. And we are finding that all East Asian markets are either crashing or they are very, very weak. Our own Indian market is going to open another 1 hour. And it is anticipated that in pre-trading section, Indian market will also, share market will also crash. Difficulty is Donald Trump did not give any solution how he is going to extract America out of this war. A USA company, multinationals, their share market will also come crash because many of the US multinationals are working from Gulf countries, especially those who are in the field of AI. So their share markets will definitely sink. Even US oil market, which was warming up to other products like shale gas are now a little, they are also anxious to find out what is the course going to be in future. Should they invest in shale gas? Because shale gas investment in US has taken place because everyone was expecting that in coming future, near future, price of normal crude will go up, price of normal gas will go up. But if price of normal crude and price of normal gas remains $100 or $110 per barrel, then investment in USA in extraction, in drilling and extraction of shale gas will no longer be profitable. It will not be an effective venture. So what is happening that USA, Donald Trump has managed to put successfully in USA economy in more quagmire. Yes.
All right, I want to go across to Malika Pandey. She's a foreign affairs expert. Malika, you and I over the weeks have discussed this multiple times, and along with all my other esteemed panelists. But the fact is that Donald Trump, as we've discussed earlier, after every morning that he wakes up, he says something different. Now, just 11 hours ago, he said that the US will exit Iran pretty quickly. And then his speech is a complete contradiction. What is a man?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Please go ahead, Malika.
Absolutely, Vaishali. It's been more than a month since we've been discussing this, and what you really expect from a prime time national speech is some sort of certainty. And at such level, I mean, his tone has always been a hawkish tone, but that is not the central criticism. The central criticism that I really draw from his 20-minute long speech is there. He tried to sound that the US military has achieved all the core objectives, but there is no exit plan. Every time we tune on to social media, and every time, so these days diplomacy, his sort of diplomacy in 21st century is happening through social media and press conferences, rather than when we saw wherever US was involved in any sort of war, we used to see that there was some kind of diplomacy that is happening. We used to see that both the parties were sitting together discussing and finding a way out. But now the entire diplomacy has changed. Every time I wake up in the morning, there is some notification in Truth Social where he keeps on changing his plans. So there's this sort of uncertainty. Nothing really changed in his speeches. Like, it's been a month almost, and we thought that there would be some sort of de-escalation, there would be some sort of time frame which would be provided, there would be some sort of certainty, Vaishali, which would be provided finally for the market, for the Iranian civilians who are in deep, deep economic distress and on whose name this war was being fought. So there is no certainty which was provided. Rather, he is going back to the fact that we are going to drag the Iranians towards Stone Age. That's what his core argument has been. So it's just that nothing in his speech was sort of new. It was very repetitive for what he's been saying. In fact, he was trying to sound victorious, but at the same time, he left that time frame again, 2 to 3 weeks, he has said, and then he started comparing the wars as well, that in Vietnam War we took so much time, in Korea War we took so much time, and look at us, here we are just wrapping up, winding down, and we have achieved our core objectives. What sort of an immature president is that? And at the same time, we are seeing Eric Trump release a tweet where he is talking about, oh, we have renamed the Palm Beach airport as Donald Trump Airport. He is more concerned about building his statues in Venezuela. He is more concerned about, having his signature in the dollars. This is for the first time after 165 years that an American sitting president is going to have his signature on the dollars. Starting from June, more than 8 million protesters are standing and gathering against him. So he has not only lost that credibility inside America, but also we are seeing that America's credibility is being lost even outside as the guarantor of peace, Vishali. And with his speech today morning, I mean, it's just more damaging to his entire political career. And this is the biggest political blunder that he's making, Vishali.